Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're skipping past the usual macros, the carbs and the fats, and we're zeroing in on the invisible engine quietly running your entire body in the background. We are getting right into the fundamentals of kitchen science, and specifically the absolute secret to mineral pairing.
Now, have you ever felt like you're doing everything right? You're eating well, you're getting your 8 hours, hitting all the quote unquote rules, but you still wake up feeling sluggish, foggy, or just kind of off for reasons you can't quite pinpoint. It's literally the most frustrating feeling in the world. Well, here's the thing. The answer usually isn't more food or extra sleep. The real issue? Your body is missing the right minerals. These tiny, invisible spark plugs dictate exactly how you feel every single day. So today, we're breaking down 6 crucial ones, what they do, where to find them, and crucially, exactly what you need to eat them with.
Real quick, before we dive into the kitchen chemistry, this explainer is strictly for educational purposes, not medical advice. Always check with your doctor or a registered dietitian before making any big dietary shifts, especially if you have a health condition or if you're on medication, okay? We're just here today for nutritional education to empower you with the science of your own kitchen. All right, let's get right into it with iron. Think of iron as your body's personal oxygen delivery service. It moves oxygen right through your blood. Without enough of it on board, your body literally struggles to transport energy to where it's needed most. And that is exactly why low iron feels like this deep, heavy, constant exhaustion, even if you just had a perfect night of sleep. The delivery trucks are basically parked and your system just can't run efficiently. So, where do we actually get it? Luckily, you can find iron in super accessible pantry staples. We're talking red meat, spinach, lentils, and beans. You probably have these sitting in your fridge or cupboard right now. But here is the massive catch that so many people completely miss. Plant-based iron, like what you get from that spinach salad or a bowl of lentils, is actually incredibly hard for your body to absorb all on its own. But we can fix that easily. The secret is pairing that plant-based iron with vitamin C. A quick squeeze of fresh lemon over your spinach or having a glass of orange juice with your lentils completely changes the game. Your body absorbs it so much better. But wait, here's the crazy twist. Your morning coffee? Yeah, the ultimate hero of your morning is actually the villain in this scenario. Coffee and tea actively block iron absorption. So if you're eating a huge iron-rich breakfast hoping to boost your energy, that is absolutely not the time to be chugging coffee. The chemistry just clashes entirely. Moving right along, let's look at magnesium. I like to call this one the calm mineral. It is absolutely crucial for helping your muscles relax, it supports better sleep, and it does heavy lifting to ease stress on your nervous system. When your magnesium levels dip, your peace of mind goes right out the window. You're looking at muscle cramps, physical restlessness, and that awful, frustrating feeling of just staring at the ceiling because your body absolutely will not wind down at night. The good news? Getting magnesium is actually pretty enjoyable. It's packed into almonds, pumpkin seeds, dark leafy greens, and yes, you absolutely have my permission, dark chocolate. Because of how it literally calms the nervous system down, so many people find these foods make for an amazing evening snack. It's like flipping a switch to help you transition into a much calmer state for sleep. Now, taking magnesium by itself is totally fine. But if you pair it with vitamin B6, that is where the magic really happens. Foods loaded with B6 like bananas or chickpeas basically act like a VIP fast pass. They rush that magnesium straight into your system so your body can use it way, way more efficiently. Next up is a classic, calcium. Look, we've all been told since childhood that calcium builds strong bones, right? But it does so much more than that. Calcium is fundamentally running the show for your muscle function. It conducts your nerve signals. And get this, it even regulates your heartbeat. It is an incredibly busy, hardworking mineral. You probably already know the usual suspects sitting in your kitchen right now. Dairy, fortified plant milks, sesame seeds, and leafy greens like kale. They are absolutely loaded with calcium. But here's the catch. Just eating them isn't quite enough to get the job done. Calcium desperately needs vitamin D to actually make it into your bones. Without vitamin D, the vast majority of that calcium you just ate, it simply passes right through your system completely unused. Talk about a wasted effort, right? You've got to pair a calcium-heavy meal with vitamin D. Whether you get that from sunshine, eggs, or fatty fish, that is the only way your body finally puts that calcium to work. Let's shift gears to zinc. Think of zinc as your immune system's quiet, behind-the-scenes defender. It works around the clock, fighting off illness and healing up wounds, and it even directly controls your sense of taste and smell. If you're constantly catching every little bug going around, or you notice a tiny scratch taking forever to heal, that's often a massive red flag that your zinc levels are running low.
If you want to build up those defenses, you need to look at powerhouse foods like shellfish, pumpkin seeds, chickpeas, and cashews. Tossing a handful of these casually into your regular weekly meals is just a fantastic, reliable way to keep your immune system fully armored up.
But you've got to watch out for this sneaky kitchen science trap. Zinc absorbs perfectly fine on its own, but high calcium foods actually compete with it. So if you're eating a great zinc-rich cashew and chickpea dish, do not wash it down with a giant glass of milk. They will literally battle it out for your body's attention. Just give them a little separation in your day so your system can absorb each one fully.
All right, let's talk about potassium, the ultimate balancer. Potassium works incredibly closely with sodium to control your blood pressure, keep your muscles contracting smoothly, and balance your overall fluids. Ever get that sudden, agonizing muscle weakness or a crazy cramp after a really heavy sweat session? Yeah, that is usually low potassium showing its hand.
To get things back in perfect balance, you can rely on foods like sweet potatoes, bananas, avocados, or coconut water. These are super common kitchen items, but they do serious heavy lifting for keeping your internal fluid balance exactly where it needs to be.
And that brings us to a really fascinating pairing. Potassium and magnesium are essentially best friends. They are natural partners. Think about everyone's favorite healthy staples like avocados or big, dark, leafy green salads. They are heavily praised in the nutrition world, and it's definitely not by accident. Nature literally packaged potassium and magnesium together in these foods for flawless, perfect absorption. They are designed from the ground up to be eaten together. Okay, let's slow down for just a second to cover iodine. This is the one mineral literally almost everyone forgets about, but your thyroid absolutely requires iodine to produce the hormones that control your metabolism, your energy levels, and even your core body temperature. When you're low on iodine, it quietly and invisibly slams the brakes on your entire system. It leaves you feeling completely exhausted and sluggish for what seems like no obvious reason at all. Luckily, fixing this is incredibly simple. You can easily get enough iodine from the most basic pantry staples. Iodized salt is the absolute most common, right alongside seaweed and standard dairy products. Now, iodine is a bit of a lone wolf. It doesn't actually need a partner to absorb well. However, there is an interference factor. Massive extreme amounts of soy or cruciferous veggies, like we're talking giant bowls of raw broccoli, can actually interfere with your thyroid's ability to use that iodine properly. Now, please don't use this as an excuse to skip your broccoli. It is simply a friendly reminder of why true balance on your plate actually matters. Okay, let's tie all of this together. The golden rule of kitchen science is this: minerals do not work in a vacuum. Iron loves vitamin C, but coffee shuts it down entirely. Magnesium thrives when B6 is around. Calcium completely relies on vitamin D, but it'll fight zinc if they show up at the exact same time. The big, profound takeaway here is that your body isn't just asking, hey, did you eat enough today? It's constantly asking, did you eat it the right way? And honestly, that is the one piece of the puzzle that almost all nutrition advice totally leaves out. Which leaves us with this final, really important question. Are you just feeding your body, or are you actually fueling it? Look, you don't always need a cabinet full of ridiculously expensive supplements to give your body what it requires. Most of the time, the exact solution is sitting right there in your kitchen. By just understanding a few of these simple, intentional pairings, you let your body start working exactly the way it was designed to. You are taking care of the chemistry, running the show behind the scenes. So take a look in your pantry tonight. What hidden partnerships are just waiting in there to unlock your energy? Thanks so much for exploring this with me, and I'll catch you in the next